right, guys, we are live. We are back. Appreciate you guys joining us. Regular markets closed today, getting ready for the Easter holiday, but crypto is wide open. Crypto markets are open, and we're back. Bitcoin, not doing much, but we do have some movement from some altcoins, so that's always fun. Caught a nice little wave with Edge X. This is one we've been talking about. We'll probably come back to this at some point once we get some people in the space. But this thing's flying, man. It's up 42% in the last 24 hours here. Algorand's run has continued. I need that, man. I need all the help I can get with Algorand. I'm stuck there at 33 cents on Algorand, but hey, it's coming up. It's up to 12 cents right now. Edge X up 42%. It's in the top 100. $335 million market cap. We first talked about it at like 60 cents a couple days ago when it launched. And so it's flying, man. This is an exchange token, essentially, perp dex. They're going to have everything, prediction markets. All these exchanges now are basically a one-stop shop. Like all these platforms are basically becoming a place where you can, get your crypto, get your stocks, do your prediction markets. It's just like, here's the one-stop shop. You could just be a full degenerate here. You could trade your Apple, you could trade your oil, you could trade your Bitcoin. That's what it's moving toward, man. And these platforms that are getting out there ahead of everybody else. Obviously, we've seen what Hyperliquid has done, but even on the centralized exchange side, you see what Robinhood and Coinbase are doing. They're basically kind of reverse engineering each other. If you look at it, Coinbase started with stocks. Now they're offering, started with crypto. Now they're offering stocks. Robinhood started with stocks, and now they're offering crypto. So it's you look at around, and all these platforms are basically getting to this point where they're offering everything, and I think it's a sign to us as investors that we should be looking at everything too. Think about it, guys. I mean, it's not just, if you're just in the crypto market now, you're missing the boat. You're missing opportunities all over the place. I mean, whether you're betting on how many times Donald Trump's going to say God in his speech the other night, or, you're, longing oil or shorting oil or whatever. I mean, you've got to be locked into all of this now. I think if you're an active investor, you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not. I kind of take on this, man, and I think, a lot of people are starting to wake up to the idea that this is how it's moving, man. And so, we got, like I said, some nice movers here. EdgeX leading the way, cracked the top 100. It's ticker Edge. You guys will see it when you go to CMC. Algorand up 16%. Render, man. Tell you what, Render's been quietly printing, very quietly printing over the last month. Render has looked pretty solid, and it kind of started with BitTensor Tau, obviously, and then it's kind of filtered over into Render. We've seen some nice pops in FET and some of the other AI tokens. So there's been some nice short-term plays, man, in the altcoin market, while Bitcoin's basically doing nothing. But yeah, man, I'm currently in a trade right now on EdgeX. I got in at like 70 cents. I was looking at it in the mid 60s when we first talked about it here on our channel. We are live on YouTube too, live on X, live on Twitch. So we got a bunch of people listening in over there as well. Shout out to everybody listening over there. We're going to start live streaming the spaces again, man. Screw it. People got to catch on to what we're doing. I need to be putting this content out everywhere. So I see a bunch of people on YouTube. If you guys are wondering like what we do here, you're going to hear some other voices. You're going to hear other folks jump in and join me. We are live on X Spaces, but yeah, I wanted to kind of come back to this. Shout out to Zach, ZAC, for telling me like I'm basically stupid for not doing that. And he was right. But anyway, EdgeX is running a lot of momentum there. They've got a lot of backing, man. There was some craziness going on with the airdrop. I know some people were kind of frustrated. Some people using the platform I know Lisa, who drops in here quite a bit, was talking about that. I had never used the platform. I was simply looking at the token launch as a good opportunity. You know what I mean? And also knowing how much volume they were doing before their token launched on March 31st, I was like, okay, this is a play that I kind of want to look at here and probably make, just given, you know, how much backing they had. And full disclosure, I've been working with those guys for the last like month and a half. And so I had a pretty good insight into like, hey, they're pretty successful here. Their token's probably going to do well. And so, yeah, it's good to see them popping off here in the last 24 hours, up 41%, cracking the top 100. But there's some other alts, man. Meme Core, man. This freaking meme coin that nobody knows what the hell it is, who's behind it. Dude, what is this thing? What the hell is Meme Core? This thing is sending in the last month. I just looked at the monthly chart. It's up 90%. Meme Core. I thought this thing was just going to eventually go away. I was wrong. I'm not in it. You know, if you are, man, I mean, you're crushing it here. Whether you're on some, you know, short-term leverage play or just owning its spot. This thing came down to 45 cents late 2025, or like it was late August 2025. It came down below 50 cents. I thought that was the end of the road, man. I really did. And then it just ripped into September. September was a massive month last September. And then it came down in November. It stayed up in October, even during 1010. I remember this meme core thing was still lingering. And it came back down, and it's just been kind of stuck there at like 150, 140. It was kind of just doing nothing. And man, it exploded again in late March. Popped off, and then it had another big leg up here to start April, man. So that thing's a top 30 crypto right now. It's kind of wild, actually. You look at the top memes, it's Dogecoin, SHIB, and Meme Core right now. That's kind of wild, man. Isn't that insane? $3.4 billion market cap. It's about to flip SHIB. Pepe's only $1.4 billion. Meme Core $3.4 billion, $2 billion more than Pepe. So again, I don't know what the hell this is, but and I wish we knew like who's behind it, or if anybody has info on that, man, come on up and join us. I'd love to know. And even if you know somebody, tag them on the space. Make sure you guys share the room too. Get it out there so folks see us. But yeah, that's been interesting. Quant finally woke up. QNT, little pop there in the price. Nothing too crazy. I mean, it's been down and out for a while, but Quant at $76. I used to like this one a lot. I don't know how to feel about it now. I'm not in it. But a lot of people have been asking me about it lately, so probably time to check in and see what's going on, see if they got news or whatnot. But yeah, they kind of woke up a little bit. It's been a nice little run since yesterday. They were below $70 yesterday, and they're seeing some nice movement here. It says here, Quant is up, significantly outperforming Bitcoin, primarily driven by positive shift in U.S. regulatory sentiment. It appears to be an alpha-driven rally, not simply following the broader market. Positive regulatory catalyst linked to a new crypto-friendly interim U.S. Attorney General who's disclosed holdings into Quant. Okay, there you go. Secondary reason is a launch of the AI-driven Quant pilot trading platform and a technical breakout confirmed by rising volume. So, yeah, Quant's seeing some nice little price action there today as well. But like I mentioned, man, Bitcoin's flat. Bitcoin's not doing much of anything. But there are some opportunities, man, short term in these altcoins. You know, there's always something moving. BitTensor waking back up. We got BitTensor back down below $300 yesterday, and now it's kind of slowly grinding up. Still up 61% on the month, and doesn't look like it wants to fully slow down just yet, man. I would be cautiously optimistic here on BitTensor at these levels, but I would love to go see a retest, of that like 370 range. We were just up there in the latter parts of March. So I'd like to go see a retest up there. We'll see what happens. But I do like BitTensor long term. It is one I hold spot. I took some profits off the table when it popped up over 350. Just, in a bear market, you get an opportunity. I made a nice play on it around like 180, 190. And so I was like, okay, let me take a little bit off the table. And then I left a nice, like half my bag basically over there. So it's always nice to get a win in a bear market. We got a few folks coming in on YouTube. Let me see if there's any questions over here. People asking about Bitcoin a little bit and why it's stagnant. Bitcoin sitting at 66K and some change, slightly down in the last hour, but up 1% in the last 24. Remember, traditional markets closed today. So all eyes on crypto today, with traditional markets closed up. But yeah, let's take a look here. Let's see, because XPL had a pop yesterday too. That's the token backed by Peter Thiel. It was funny, man. I was sitting there on a space. Mar was on that space too, and I was watching it. And I was like, oh man, XPL's up 20%. And then I looked at it and I flipped over to my indicator, XT Algo, which I built back in 2023 or had built. And it flashed a signal. I'm like, okay, I'll take a short leverage trade. And in 10 minutes, it went up another 25%. And then, I got the hell out, and then it proceeded to dump back off. So I don't know where it is today. Let me see. It's down quite a bit. Oh, the other asset that I got into, Mar will love this. I opened up a position in Monad yesterday at the 2.4 level. It's up 16%. Opened it up late last night, actually. That was showing some nice strength, man. And it's at kind of the top of its range right now that it's been in. It's been pretty much stuck here for a while, but it just broke out and found price discovery on the monthly. And so we'll see if it can sustain it. Monad was, again, the token that premiered on Coinbase. And, it's been quiet over there, but this pattern that we're seeing on Monad is very similar to what we saw with Sui, back in the day. When Sui launched, it didn't immediately pump. It was very boring for a while. And it just kind of floated there and then obviously went on its big run. And I caught a nice bid on Sui when it went up, from like 80 cents up to like $5. I can't remember exactly how high did Sui end up getting, actually. Let me see. Because it went on a run, man. And I don't know what to think about it now. Some people were asking me in my Discord, about Lofi, the top meme coin on Sui. And they were like, is Lofi broken? I'm like, the bigger question is Sui broken right now, bro? Like, I mean, for this stuff on chain to move, like, you have to have the native asset performing well. I mean, most of the time. I mean, sure, there are outliers sometimes, but in general, you have to have that native asset performing well. And Sui's just been battered, man. So yeah, it got up to $5.35. It's 84% down from its all-time high. I don't think Sui's done. I do think there could be another resurgence, but if I'm picking right now to play a bid on Sui or Monad, I'm going to go with the new kid on the block. You know what I mean? And I think I would say that pretty much across the board with a lot of these alts, especially when you look at how many layer ones there are. If you look at it, Ethereum had its run back in, 2017 cycle. Then it was Solana's turn, right? To have its run. And Sui was kind of a microcosm of that. Avalanche was kind of a microcosm of that. And now I'm looking at some of these other younger layer ones that haven't seen a full-fledged, bull run, or at least a better environment. I mean, you got to love Hyperliquid. A lot of people think Hyperliquid could have that kind of run that we saw from Solana. And I would throw Monad in there as kind of a dark horse, man. I would. I think, we know they have a lot of backing. They're sitting just outside the top 100, kind of sneaky right now at 104. If they show some strength and enter the top 100, you guys know what happens. As soon as an asset tends to crack the top 100, retail starts to FOMO. That's something I've seen a lot, right? So if you can catch these things that are like sitting just behind the top 100, that are ranked 111, 112, or 104, somewhere in there, and they're showing some strength in a decent, uptrend, typically what you see is as soon as they crack the top 100, everybody and their brother, sorts by the top 24-hour percentage, and they're like, oh, what's this coin? The alerts start firing on Coinbase, and everybody wakes the hell up. I mean, you could be looking at this now, right? Speaking of that, with XT Algo, my trading software, I'm working with a dev right now to add in some elements of this where we can catch some things that are rising, in the top 200, top 300. And we're setting up a brand new dashboard with that. It's going to take a little while. It's going to be the same price. I'm just adding value to it. So be on the lookout for that. I'll be promoting that more as we get closer, but I did want to mention that just because it was kind of a seamless transition there. XT Algo, my company's been out since 2023. It's been super successful. You can use it to trade stocks, commodities, crypto, but we want to continue to add some elements, and especially now in the world of AI, you have to add some technology behind this stuff that makes it stand out. And so I'm aware of it. So we're working behind the scenes to do that. So I'll tell you guys more about that as we roll along. But yeah, that's kind of where we are right now. Pepe waking up a little bit as well, up 6%. So it's kind of going against the grain. I'm waiting on a near protocol pop, man. It's showing a little bit of strength, but not too much. We had a nice little recovery here yesterday and today. I feel like near protocol is an asset that I think it's going to make a run, man, because it's in this AI sector. I mean, it's down where it was in 2023, guys. So if you're trying to eye something in this AI sector that's a large cap, it's sitting at 1.56 billion. It's not a small crypto in the grand scheme of things. Top 50. We've seen Tau run. We've seen Render run. I think Near could catch a bid at some point. So I do hold some Near. It's one that I actually contemplated adding a little bit more of recently as well. And I might do that just to see if we catch a little momentum play there. So we're looking at that. Let's see what else is going on here in the top 200. XPL's back up. No shit. XPL's back up. Keeping an eye on this thing. I traded it and got the hell out last night, but it could be getting ready to make another run. It almost got to 16 cents last night. It's slightly over 12 cents now. Big pullback, but it's starting to slowly staircase up again right now. So it's one to keep an eye on. This XPL, it's ranked 124. Again, Peter Thiel backed, probably manipulated to hell, but it is what it is. If you could take some short-term swing trades on stuff, who cares, right? That's kind of my take. But guys, come on up, request. I mean, I could keep this rolling. I could just shoot the shit, but love to have some people join me here and see what's going on. Again, shout out to everybody listening live on YouTube, X, Twitch. Looks like we got a little over 200 people listening live over there. I don't know how many people in the space, but appreciate everybody being here. If you're over on YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, do all that great stuff. Help us out with the algorithm over there. But Mutasco, what's going on, man? What's happening?
Good morning, Zach. It's Friday, so chilling. But I was wondering if you've looked into the drift hack at all.
I've heard about it, man. Honestly, I didn't spend a ton of time looking into it. I saw it and I was just kind of like, okay, is what it is. Is there something there that's like unique that I'm missing? Or
no, so I was doing some deep dives on it, and it almost seems similar to and I'm sure it's like almost ages now, because the BitGet, was it BitGet? The CEO was tricked to sign a transaction, if you remember.
The more recent one, I think, was Bybit.
Oh, was it Bybit? Yeah, I think it was Bybit.
Yeah, but yeah, who knows? BitGet probably got hacked at some point. But I think the more recent one, I'm pretty sure it was Bybit.
It was Bybit. It was Bybit. The CEO, they handled it very well, and whatever. But the story was, when you look underneath what happened, it was almost like he was tricked. And, he just signed something. And then before he realizes, the money was gone. It's similar to the same thing with the drifting. When I was looking into it and reading the details, it almost seems similar, like the same type of trick. I think Solana created what they call a security cancel for multi-sig signing, and there's a set number of individuals on it, right? It's like having 4 speakers here, and for somebody to get on, we all have to approve it. Not only Zach saying, "Hey, accept this person," and somehow this attacker managed to trick 2 of them. And, it's kind of concerning, because if you think about it, we're all here playing with money, and you have a lot of hidden nuances on these protocols that most people that actually trade, and I'm sure if you're actually playing with a lot of money, I hope you're actually doing your research about some of these nuances, right? So you're not like, you don't get trapped. If you remember what happened with Sui, that whole hack that happened that led to Luffy going down significantly. I don't remember what it was, but I don't remember what the protocol that got hacked. It was a DeFi protocol on Sui, right? It was kind of
that was the hack with Cetus, and Cetus is essentially Sui's like Uniswap, if you will, right? It was the biggest biggest DEX on Sui. Yeah, that was a mess, man. And honestly, Mutasco, thinking of that, they haven't really recovered since.
No,
they have not recovered since. I mean, it seems like that's been actually something that's really hurt them, and that was a while back.
It's hard money that was taken, and somebody had to fill the gap, and there was nobody to stand up and say, "Hey, we're gonna backstop you." So in that case, if it's just $100,000, maybe somebody can just fund it. But when these types of hacks happen, when the market is this down, nobody wants to step in and do anything. And I think, this also explains how dangerous this market is when it comes to liquidity, and also just being able to, when it's this boring, you want to learn a lot about the nuances of these protocols so that you can stay away and not just jump on anything. Because the whole Cetus thing, a lot of people got trapped. They weren't even like part of the whole, they just got trapped, and their money, they can't get it back. And they're like, "Oh my God, what do I do?"
I know that screwed a lot of projects on Sui, like Lofi, for example, because that was the place where they had the most activity and the most liquidity, all of that, right? Yeah, man. I mean, it damaged a lot of the projects on Sui. I mean, you look at Walrus and Deep Book Protocol. I mean, these were all showing some good strength back then before all that.
Right. It's sad, man. It's like there's no money, right? And so if there's no money, if you compound it with like, I mean, this guy literally created a liquidity pool for $500, okay, and walked away with like that much money. He literally created, you know, I mean, he did the setup weeks before the hack. And all he had to do was set up a pool for $500. And then he started playing along. It's like when people see activity on certain chains and look at it in a macro perspective, right? Right now, we all know we're in a bear market. So if you see something pumping, just be careful. You have to question it multiple times because there's no real liquidity anywhere. That means there are sophisticated people that are being creative. I mean, when the market is pumping, you don't need to be that creative to steal, right? There'll be a bunch of ignorant people online doing all kinds of risky stuff, and you can just sweep them out. You can use a bot, you can, you know, just scoop up people. But at this point where we're at, a lot of people that have money, they kind of just sit on their hands. They don't want to do anything. And those are the people that can actually move the charts from Ethereum to whatever. You know, you hear Michael Saylor is buying, you see Tom Lee is buying, but Ethereum is not doing anything. It's because 90% of those trades, they get executed, you know, outside of the order books, right? They call them OTC trading. So it's like Zach has Ethereum, Tom Lee wants Ethereum. He goes through a broker. The broker calls Zach. Zach says, okay, I mean, what is Ethereum trading at? What's the spot price? I'll give it to you, whatever. That is if what Tom Lee wants, if he could only get it from Zach, then he has to pay a premium for it. And then they negotiate, the money gets moved. You're not going to see any movement on the chart. That doesn't mean that Ethereum is bad. Or maybe Tom Lee's buying is not affecting Ethereum. Literally has nothing to do with Ethereum. But what you also want to understand is Ethereum has a supply. There's a chunk of it that is staked. And at some point, there will be some action. And it will be a price action. The same explanation that people are giving with oil, where we are today, at some point, they're gonna have to disrupt the demand, because right now demand is up here, supply is down by some unrelated issue. At some point, to force people, you have to disrupt, and that disruption is going to take the price up by maybe another $40 or whatever. I don't know how long it will take, but it has to happen. If it doesn't happen, then the whole theory behind demand and supply is bullcrap. It's like saying the Isaac Newton, or you know, all the little laws that you guys, the Newton's third law of motion or thermodynamics or whatever. Like when people say, well, I can do a perpetual motion machine. You ask an engineer, he will tell you you're full of it because it's not going to work. So some of these things, people just dismiss them because they don't understand them. So understand that whatever is happening right now, until everybody sees a signal that the market is going to start to move up. When you're playing in these risky bets, be careful, because you're going to get rocked and get trapped, and your money is just going to be gone. And then the next thing you're going to see is the signal will finally show up and the bull market is on, and you don't have money to participate. So I'm just very careful.
I'm with you 100%, Mutasco. If you're playing these altcoins, and like I want to be very specific here, like I'm looking at a lot of short-term plays. Like last night, quickly in and out of that whole XPL thing. Like, okay, I'm looking at EdgeX. I'm up on this trade right now. I'm going to be taking profits. At least my base is back. Like all of these things right now, especially given where the market is and the conditions and the environment we're in, they're all short-term plays. But if you're locked into this, I mean, there are opportunities. Hell, I'm even in a meme coin right now that's doing well. Now, I know that it's a meme coin, and meme coins are not a great environment right now. I'll throw it out there. I mean, not financial advice. I think I mentioned it the other day. Actually, I think I mentioned it yesterday on another space. This LOL on Solana. You know, I mean, I'm not going to be stuck in this damn thing, but I threw a couple Solana at it. I saw like a bunch of sentiment on social media. Like the interesting thing, I got in like 9 cent, 0.009 or whatever. It's 0.011 right now. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, if you're locked in, you could find these little short-term plays. And as long as you're looking at them like that in this environment, now, if you want to accumulate something more long-term or midterm, I think there are those plays too. Like, you know, I'm looking at Monad right now. We know kind of what Monad is. It's a large crypto, all things considered. I mean, almost $300 million market cap, launched on Coinbase. It's been, you know, excuse me, it's been stuck for a while. It's showing some crazy strength since yesterday, where it just completely broke out structurally. And late last night, I'm like, okay, it's at the top of the range. This is a bet that it can break through this range that it hasn't been able to do in the last month, right? But if not, I've seen where the lower band is, and it's not that bad, right? Like, so every trade is slightly different. You have to look at it individually. But most of the things right now, man, that I'm making a play on, it's short-term swing trading, maybe some short-term leverage plays here or there. And, you know, that's in addition to accumulating things like in the crypto market, both, you know, stocks, all that. But I think being active right now is certainly something you can do. Like, you know, we talked about EdgeX a few days ago at 62 cents, you know, and I said, hey, it's some, anytime something new comes out and they have big money behind it, you got to pay attention. Doesn't mean you have to buy every one, but you got to pay attention. And if you like it, after you dig into it, see what it is, then you can make a short-term play on it in a bear market, you know? So, and even then, you got to know that it's a risk, man, because you're going to lose trades. I say this all the time. You're going to lose. And, you know, you got to just put yourself in a position where you can afford to lose some trades. And that comes with not going all in. You know, just because there's a new crypto launch doesn't mean it's like I got to take all $5,000 that I have over here and full port it because I'm down bad and I got to, you know, play the catch-up trade and this got to work or I'm screwed. No, it's taking a measured approach, taking a small amount and making a play on it and being super quick to take your profits, you know? So yeah, man, I'm with you. I think that's kind of where we are right now. Are you following any of these things? I mean, Algorand's showing some strength still too, man. Algorand's up now almost 50% on the week. You know, it had the big pop on the heels of that Google report that came out with Quantum because it was one of the most mentioned assets. I thought it would kind of be over, and it looked like it was. It retraced back down from like 11 cents back down under 10, and then it just catapulted back up yesterday in the middle of the night. It was cruising too. But you know, Algorand, again, different type of play. I mean, they've been around for a while, right? I mean, so like that could be more of a longer term play. And you know, you start to see some strength on it. You're like, okay, maybe the narrative's picking back up here. You know, but I'm watching that for sure. This meme core thing is just really freaking interesting. I honestly lost sight of it. And then you look up and you're like, holy shit, this thing's... Yeah, I kind of lost sight of it. And then you look up and you're like, holy shit, this thing's flying. Sorry, I was getting a phone call. But I don't know how many times my sister could call me during this time. And I've been doing the same thing at the same time for years. You got to love it, right?
You got to call her back.
I'm going to text her right now. But yeah, man, that's kind of where we are. It's interesting with Tosco because Bitcoin is not doing anything, but there's some opportunities, right? I mean, there are definitely some things happening over these last few weeks, last few months with Hyperliquid, BitTensor Tau, Zcash had a run, and now you're starting to see some of these other assets wake back up, you know, like an Algorand. And if you can catch this stuff, Render's been slowly grinding. I guess Quant actually had some big news. Somebody's telling me on YouTube. Quant had some big news, a partnership with Murex, Murex. I got to look into that. But apparently that's partly a reason why it's pumping.
No, there's a lot going on. I think we all cannot discount the whole war, and I think this is like it's like the whole game theory thing, right? You and I are playing the same game. You know, we're in the same business. You spend $1 million, I spend $1 million. We're all competing for the same thing. You spend $2 million, I go ahead and I spend $2 million. So I'm matching you. And I'm saying I'm not giving up. You say you're not giving up. Somebody has to blink. And when you have that type of scenario playing out in real time, what it creates is uncertainty, because you don't know when that other person is going to blink. So that creates an uncertainty that spills over into the market. So a lot of people right now, if you have a lot of money and you're trying to play this game, you don't want to get in the way. And that's why you're seeing the market literally like, it's telling you they're not sure what the direction is. In fact, Trump would have solved this whole thing if he had said, when he delivered the speech and was very forceful and clear, hey, we've accomplished our goals. This is where we are. You know, logistically, we have this, whatever. And I know there's some risks there. I'm not an expert in military, whatever, but they could figure out their ways to play out and then move out. But moving out is going to be risky. And the risk is touching some of the most important commodities in the world. So everybody knows how this is going to end. It's not going to end well. And I think a lot of the Wall Street, I mean, I monitor a lot of really, you know, like some of these trades, and I'm seeing a lot of outflow. So what that tells me is, I mean, anybody with that amount of money, they have to have a lot of information to be making that type of move. Because you don't do that move and do a U-turn. Because when you're doing a U-turn at the wrong time, whatever asset you're looking to buy, you may not get it, right? Because there will be rationing that gets injected. So I would just say until we find some clarity, and I think if you look at the Congress, there's a law that kind of gives Trump, I think it's 90 days or 60 days. I think we should, unless he goes in and asks for more time, he needs to wind this down by like, you know, somewhere in mid-May, right? So there's a clock ticking. And right now, I think if I'm on the other side, if we're talking about this and there are people listening on these spaces or learning about US politics, they know that there's a clock. They have a midterm coming. So what do we need to do? All we need is strategic patience. And then people are wondering, okay, the new guy, is he killed or is he alive? Who knows? But he's probably doing strategic silence because he doesn't want to pop his head and do all kinds of things, because he knows if the Congress of the United States flips the other way, then there'll be some normalcy, right? Because, you know, the whole, we're going to blow you up will slow down. Then he buys time, right? He's probably going to be here for the next 30 years. So a lot of things are moving in, and most people are ignoring it for whatever reason. I'm in the market, but whatever I bought in before the war stays on. I'm not buying anything right now. When I see discounts, I have strategic buys that I have on my top list. When there's a dip and it's a reasonable dip, I buy. I buy my way down.
Mutasco, if you don't mind me asking, what are your top cryptos outside of Bitcoin that you are like high conviction? I know ETH, but I'm curious if you care to share. I mean, and obviously it's not financial advice, guys. Everybody has to do their own due diligence. But if you care to share, I'd be interested.
I think I'm heavy weighted now on, you know, like, and this could be a bad experiment on my side, and it will be painful because It's a sizable amount of money that I'm putting at risk, but I think I've done enough, reading and listening, and I think I tend to be over analyzing things, and that's just the people that I talk to privately know this. So I've shared my book, right? As I always say, I start with the blockchain, the main blockchain. I have Bitcoin. I'm positioned in Bitcoin. I don't touch it. I don't need to touch it because that money, I just assume that I need to have Bitcoin with it, and that's locked up. Ethereum, I'm heavy in Ethereum a lot because besides the, just a native asset, I have a position in Ethereum itself. Beyond that, like Uni and EtherFi and, a little bit of Athena, because I know, I understand the product. There's some risks there, but there is a potential advantage for Athena if we end up with a risky situation in the bond market where the yield goes down. If the yield goes down and it's not very attractive, the DeFi yields are going to go up, and they have some interesting things there. So that may push the price up, and I'll take some profit there. But within the Ethereum ecosystem, I could give you a list of all kinds of things. And I've been here for, just about the same time that you've been here. I was alone in 2018 on my VeChain journey. 2019, I was still alone. And then I found Twitter. And, I just went all over the place. But besides the Ethereum, and again, I'm just going to limit my scope on the Ethereum side. And the way that I go by this is I buy the native asset. I buy the DOT, which is the digital asset treasury companies, because I understand. I've done some analysis on the amplification. It makes sense to me. If Bitcoin goes up by 10%, the derivative asset can go up by double. I've done all kinds of simulation. I've seen how it works. And so it makes sense for me to take a risky bet on the more, like I've shared my tickers here, like BMNR, MSTR, SBET. I have a lot of it, which is good. But I don't know. It's not moving, and I'm okay with that for now because I listened to Joe Lubin. I listened to the BlackRock guy who helped build BITO, for like 2 hours explaining the vision. And I'm like, okay, this sounds great. I'll take a position in it. It's a risk. It could go to zero. But I have some reasonable positions in those. And I'm going to stick with it because, again, look what everybody's talking about it. I own it. I also own 2 of the major dots on it, right? The PURR ticker and the Hype D. I'm trying to position myself in Kinetic. I understand Kinetic. I've read a lot about it. It's almost like Lido for Hyperliquid, which is interesting to me because I understand the Lido play. And so that's why I'm looking to position myself in Kinetic. But I'm okay with the positions I have.
A lot of things tied to the Ethereum ecosystem. I like the way you're going about it too, because if you're that bullish on ETH and you've done your due diligence there, then you want all these ancillary pieces around it that can potentially outpace Ethereum when Ethereum gets going. I think that's a good way to think about it. You mentioned EtherFi. Shout out to them. I just put something up in the nest. I did want to throw them out there real quick. I'm trying to get their the main account in here right now, actually, as we speak. I did partner up with them this month, so super excited. They're doing some really cool things this April where you get paid to eat. Yeah, like how cool is this? Get paid to eat out. So it's a Dine Different campaign. Check it out, guys. Your friends get 10% cash back on food. You can invite your friends, get 10% of their spend. It's really cool. They're trying to bring, obviously, crypto into the real world and in a lot of different ways. So, yeah, check out that link up top if you guys want to look into that. I'm very fascinated about EtherFi, to be honest with you, Tosco. And I think you first brought it to us in the spaces, I think, a little while back. This is before they became a top 100 crypto. So, and I think, yeah.
No, I like it because I think my thesis behind it is it copies the bank's product. So I always start with like saying, hey, what does the bank offer me? I have a savings account, I have a checking account. It gives me like a loan. So if I need to borrow money to buy a house or a car or whatever, I can go to my bank and get that. What else does it give me? Maybe, just, the savings account. I put money in, and if it's a high yield savings account, I earn more yield versus the base yield that they will give to everybody, the point nothing. So I say, okay, ETFI. And I think Gary pushed the guy, and I've studied the guy. I've listened to him a lot for the past 4 years. He's a very reasonable guy. I don't think he's kind of a risky person, just based on what I know about him. He's very disciplined, and I've watched him just keep building. And the regulation here in the U.S. kind of pushed some of these people out. They set up operations, outside of the United States. So the change of regulation has kind of pushed them back in slightly, but it forced them to innovate. And most of their products that they have, if you research them, it has nothing to do with crypto, right? It's like they want to scale by they have like EtherFi Cash and EtherFi Liquid, and
they've got
and
their
all the
card.
Stuff.
Yeah, man.
That's what I like about them. So again, it's the same thesis that I have behind.
It's like a new age bank.
Yeah, and
built for Web3, built for kind of where we're heading and not where we've been.
Yeah, and it's going to be a long-term play because, first you want to understand, is this founder somebody that would just give up? He's gone through several like crashes in the market and he's still here. So that tells me that he's here to build. He's not here like for the money everybody's here for the money, but there are some people, if things go bad, they're just like, we're winding down, we're just going to move on. And I don't see that in him. So again, my plays are different. I've come a long way. I've kind of figured out a strategy for myself. It's very calm and boring, and I love it. Time will tell if it works out. I'm not like desperately in need of like, this need has to work out now. I have a lot of like, multiple like plans. I've said it out loud publicly. It's more personal, but I always like to share because most of you here have jobs, right? You have regular jobs, and I have a career that I'm proud of, and I put a lot of my time in it. And I also have, really good benefit there. I don't touch it. I don't use it if they would let me, I'll be irresponsible. I'll probably put all of it in Bitcoin, but I wouldn't, and I'm okay with that. Right, that's writing on its own, and the reason I went heavy on the dots is because I recently moved some money over, and I told you, Zach, about the Robinhood. They had it was a nice check I got, free money. I just moved the money in. I got 2% on that money. That was amazing.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I literally allocated that extra cash in like things that I have conviction on, and if it plays out, it'll be amazing. But I'm playing it very safe. Yeah.
That was a deal that I think was really smart by Robinhood, man, because you had people moving their, air quotes, like legit portfolio and Charles Schwab over there, or you know what I mean? That was a huge like opportunity for them to go from little kitty exchange to big boy exchange, if you will. You know what I mean? And I think they've done a good job of kind of, getting out of that realm of, hey, we're only the platform for like the, brand new investor, so yeah, kudos to them. I think I like Robinhood as a company moving forward. I think they're a great play long term. I think they're, what are they today? A $60 billion company, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're a $600 billion company. I mean, I don't know when. You know what I mean? I think they're going to grow like crazy.
And the fundamentals is just like, I've always said, if you're in these spaces and you're listening to me, when I say these things, I just want people to try them, right? Because it's not the only resource. You can have multiple resources, but I look at it from the way Warren Buffett invests, right? I saw him do 3 years ago. He had moved a lot of money into Sirius XM, that radio. It's like Spotify, but it's and I was like, why did he move that much money into it? So I started looking into the company, and I looked at the subscriptions and the amount of money that they're generating consistently, and I'm like, oh, it makes sense. It looks like this is a moat, and it's gonna keep growing. And he's good at like betting long term, because that's where the wave is headed. I have one in my car. I pay for it. I pay a subscription for it, and I love the music I listen to. I don't cancel it. I enjoy it, and I go in on their financials and I pull up and I see that the subscription has been very stable. So businesses like that, I can compare that to like Robinhood. If they're adding layers and layers of products, it may not be good right now, but you have to think about where the wave is headed, right? Because the retirement product that they brought in, they're ahead of Coinbase on that. Because that retirement thing, they could target millennials and Gen Zs, and it will be easy for them to have. It's so easy to set up an account. They've added few products again now recently.
Just their interface, and like they've gamified it. They've made it so easy. Like, think about how far behind. I mean, I use Charles Schwab for my long-term assets, but I mean, it literally looks like Windows 95 when you open it up. Like, there's no like interactive part of that website at all.
That's by design. They want you calling the people.
Yeah, true.
That's second nature, yeah.
I mean, but it's literally like, I don't know. I think where this thing's heading, and here's the other thing too. I think I mentioned this at the top. Everything is converging into one. Like, all these platforms are basically just going to be doing everything now. Like, I mean, think about it. Coinbase started crypto. Now they're doing stocks. Now they're doing prediction markets. Now they're doing, look at Robinhood. Started with stocks, and now they're doing retirements, and now they're doing crypto, and now they're doing prediction markets, and now they're doing mortgages, and now they're, you know what I mean? It's like literally everybody's jockeying and fighting for position to be the one-stop shop. And I think Robinhood has a huge edge on a lot of other platforms in that realm, because they've already got the new folks. They've already got the young people. Like, and so to your point, Mutosco, you keep adding the products that you need in one place. Why would you go anywhere else? I mean, people are creatures of habit. If they can continue to go back to the same place for all of their needs, that's what they're going to do. Like, gone are the days where you have to have all these different places to do your stocks and crypto and this and that and commodities, and everybody's kind of trying to create their one-stop shop. And yeah, I mean, if I was a betting man, I think Robinhood has a huge advantage. I think Coinbase is fine too. I think, I own both of them. I own both the companies, but I have double the amount of hood that I do coin right now. But Dan Tech, what's going on, man? What's on your mind? What's happening? What are you seeing?
Hey, Zach. Good morning, guys. Basically what I'm seeing, on the macro scale, if I look at on the subject of alts, if I look at the Bitcoin dominance, it's almost like we flatlined for the past 6 months. There's no movement. You mentioned a few tokens here and there making some moves, but very short term or very short lived, in my opinion. Things are just, it's almost like nobody wants to trade crypto, even though we're in it. But if you zoom out in the bigger scale, it's like nothing's really happening. Like, ever since we've been downtrending, there's not any action, whether it's the degen world or the meme space or certain narratives popping out. Everybody's just watching Bitcoin, maybe a few alts here making some moves. So I feel like in a trance. It's just maybe because I haven't been trading much at all ever since maybe for the past 4 or 5 months, actually even longer, even before the top was in. I kind of slowed down. I'm just like sitting back, doing a few swing trades here and there. finding some odd tokens here and there to invest in, and just was waiting for all season, waiting for exit liquidity and stuff like that. And since it hasn't really, it never really happened on most tokens, things just sitting idle. So yeah, so on the macro scale, what I see going on, we're just all, I don't know, twiddling our thumbs, waiting for some action, waiting for retail, waiting for some macro news, waiting for this damn war to maybe have some certainty. So yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I've been pretty relaxed. I haven't even been, like, I'm always usually active, working on stuff, looking for whether it's investing or whether it's swing trading, whether it's building something or looking for opportunities or just networking. I haven't been really active either. So yeah, things are just quiet, but the ones who stick around, the ones who stay, I guess, locked in would be a word. We will find our opportunities. Time will come. Patience. But yeah, there's not much to say because I haven't been really active as far as buying stuff or investing in things. I'm pretty sitting idle. I'm sitting on a lot of my bags, waiting for some dead cat bounce, really. Some exit liquidity to be better balanced because I'm not too much into stables. I would like to be more into stables, but at this point, it's like I don't want to go into stables when we're like at a potential bottom or close to one. So I'm just idle. I got to get my mind into I'm really into the space. I want to get my mind into building some stuff and bring some value to the space. I love sharing any helpful ideas or information. I like helping people. So, I'm just chilling. So that's where my head is at. I've been chilling for a few months. I haven't been on Twitter for like over a year. I just came back past maybe a couple of months and just chilling, really. That's all I've been doing. Just got back from my 1 month holiday. I arrived yesterday at home. So I got to get back into the groove. So that's where my head back.
Do you trade stocks too, or do you own stocks?
No, the only thing was gold, but which I no longer have any. I had a big chunk in gold in my portfolio, but no, I don't trade stocks. I'm strictly really crypto.
Do you own stocks long term?
No, just crypto.
Okay, interesting.
I'm only in crypto. I had, a couple of years ago, I had stacked up on gold. As I was selling some crypto, I was moving it to stables and gold. And then when gold started acting like a meme coin, I started shaving off.
Yeah.
And, and I'm looking at it, it's like, it was a hedge, it's a hedge. It's like 50% of my stables, I would keep in gold, pretty much. And I'm like, I was stabling up quite a bit in 2024, 2025. But still, I still have a lot of crypto because I was waiting for alt season like everybody else. But then when I'm looking at gold, I'm like, what the hell is going on with gold? So I said, something's not normal. Something's weird with this market.
Yeah. What are your high conviction alts, if you don't mind me asking?
No, not at all. So I hold, so just to tell you, my portfolio is a mix of anywhere from the micro caps to the gambles. There's some memes in there. I was never big on memes, but there's always going to be some memes in there that get attention. And most of my portfolio is in the larger caps. So I'm not going to get into all of them because I think it was, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago. So I started to count how many tokens I had a bag in. And I had counted, I think was it 137 or 147? I think it was 147. And I'm like, what the hell? I have 147 crypto assets. But the majority of those were low cap hitters and mostly all moon bags because my style was, at the time, anything that would launch, I would buy, I would automatically put a sell at 2x, 50%. So my number one rule, and I do that even with large caps, even with safer assets. But it's definitely on newer assets or low caps. The minute I put in the buy, at the same time, I put in an automatic sell at 2x, 50%. So the majority of those tokens were moonbags because most of them would hit the 2x. And then, I'd either buy back in if I like the token, if it dips, or I leave it as a moonbag, or I shave profits if it does well. So I had a shit ton of garbage, which I still, I did get rid of a lot of them that seem to have died out. Dead projects, dead memes. Or they just got dusted. But I still hold a lot. But in the larger caps, some of my holdings. So Bitcoin, I'm pretty heavy. It's my heaviest bag at this time. It used to be ETH. ETH used to always be my heaviest bag, and that really destroyed me. And a lot of the investments, the proxy plays are usually ETH related. So if ETH doesn't do well, neither do a lot of the other alts. But Bitcoin, ETH, Solana has been my big ones. Apart from, like I said, I had some gold, but I no longer hold any. And the rest is a lot of DeFi. I was a big fan of DeFi because I had a real use case. So Uniswap, I love Chainlink. Even XRP, I still hold some. I had bought quite a bit, but with the recent pumps prior, I shaved off a few times. So I still have a bag of XRP because I'm not a fan of the actual utility. I'm a fan of the attention, the community, the cult army. I go, the way it attracts liquidity from retail. So if we're going to have a great bull season, XRP, I would think, is going to move. And, since it woke up finally for the first time after I don't know how many years in 2025, or when did it actually blow up to $3? It was in 2024. Yeah, I think it was in 2024, actually, when it first blew up at the end of it. But anyway,
it was when Trump got reelected. This second go around, it did a 6x in 6 weeks, roughly.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, it was wild because
it kind of started the bull run. It felt like
in some ways,
season, I should say.
Yeah, well, what happened was all throughout the bear market, it would just stay right around this 50-cent level, and I mean, it looked dead. I remember making videos. And half the comments were like, XRP is dead. Like, you're an idiot. And I'm like, see, this is exactly why I'm bullish. Because everybody thinks this thing's dead. Lawsuit, all of that. I'm like, this thing is going to run as soon as Trump gets in. As soon as, because there was already rumors about Ripple going to be winning the lawsuit, etc. I'm like, this is when you want to buy. And they would not let that price. Now, whether they were propping it up or whatever was happening, I don't care. I'm just looking at it strictly as an investor. I could give two shits. But they would not let that thing go below 40 cents. So that thing it would just trade in this range of 40 to 50 cents throughout the entire bear market, and they kept it down. I'm like, the risk versus reward ratio here is beautiful because they're not going to let it fall below 40. And eventually, it's going to have a breakout moment. And I know there's interest. I know the minute XRP starts running, there's going to be a FOMO effect. It's exactly what happened.
For sure. And I felt the same way. It can go lower. It's like the risk to reward, even though it doesn't move. Like, it's in 2021, it didn't move. It was also pretty much a good for traders.
100%. Yeah. And the thing was, the only thing I wish would have happened is that it found price discovery. It got really close.
Yeah.
The 2018 all-time high, which is still intact, by the way, was 384. And I think we got as high as like 350, give or take. And I'm like, just squeeze up there, please. Like, get it to $4, and then we have price discovery. Who knows what happened? And we just could never kind of squeeze up there. But I think it's going to have another run. I like XRP. A lot of people say a lot of things about it. I feel like you have to be either all in or all out with XRP. Like, there's no in between. And I guess I'm somewhere in between.
Dumb. But that's the dumb part.
I agree.
That's what makes
I agree.
Being all in or all out. That's that mentality. It's like, for me, it's another asset, like many others. They all have their own use case. Obviously, I also feel 95% have no real world use case. They have a crypto use case, which a lot of times, in my opinion, is really useless and not needed in this world. But this all in, all out mentality of being into something. I'm a fan. That's what I'm saying. As I mentioned, I have so many assets. So I'm diversified because for me, it's a space. It's an ecosystem. And certain things are going to evolve. Certain tools are going to get adoption. Certain companies are going to make revenues or make a lot of noise marketing wise because of the narrative.
And certain things won't. and certain things won't. Like that,
Yeah, exactly.
and that's the speculative nature of the asset class. And I think people just forget that. People think, oh, well, they're doing this and they're doing that. I mean, they're obviously going to be massive. It's like you can have all the greatest tech in the world, but people still have to use it. You know what I mean? Like you can have the greatest marketing story ever, but people still have to hear it. You know,
exactly. The noise is the biggest part, not even the asset.
Right.
Like Chainlink, I had one of my biggest bags next to ETH was Chainlink. It still is actually a big bag, and it's because the tech is needed. It's the rails, it's the roadway, it's whatever. It's integrated into so many different things. It's like it's not going anywhere, and I feel they're going to be around for the long haul. But it doesn't matter how much it's used, because depending on the tokenomics, depending on the marketing and the noise it makes and how it's attracting retail, it's all about supply and demand in the end. Sell pressure versus buy pressure. So even though you're investing in something that's going to cure cancer, it could be the greatest tool in the space, but the supply and demand is not there. And that's why I'm not a fan of XRP. I'm not a big fan of Solana, even though I hold it. I hold it for its volatility. And Chainlink, like, I love the asset, but I think I put more eggs into that basket because I love the utility. But then when it comes down to tokenomics and the buy and sell pressure ecosystem, it's not that great in the end. It's just going to be stable. It's going to be around. It's safe. It's a safe asset to me. It's not something that I'm expecting to make a lot of moves, you know?
Yeah.
And it was the same thing with DeFi. I went into a lot of DeFi plays like Uniswap and Aave. Uniswap actually did well, so I exited a lot of my positions when it had some nice moves. Aave didn't do much. It did make a little bit of moves. But I heavily invested in Aave as well. Ondo, I think, was a huge disappointment. How? Another DeFi play that I really liked. I love the utility, CowSwap. It actually did a massive pump because it got listed on an exchange sometime in 2025. And I'm like, it really had a nice run. But other than that, it's just dead. All these utilities are dead. Lido, same thing. I have Lido. Another utility I really liked was reserve rights. So I bought some of that, but they haven't done nothing. But I love their idea. I love their utility. It's something actually I wanted to build. And when I saw what they were doing, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool, you know, similar to some ideas I had. But I'm all over the place. Like if I name you my asset, I have a little bit of Cardano. I have some SPX. I have some Doge. I have some Pepe. So those were my meme plays. You know, once retail comes in, they're looking to get into the meme space where they're going to throw some money at. So that's how I kind of try to pick them. Huge disappointments I've had was Deve, but that's a smaller cap. Virtual was all over the place. It just had a lot of swings up and downs. I actually made good money, I think, on Virtual because it had some big pumps, it had some dumps, and I did sell out on some of those pumps. So I did okay with it, even though in the end it was disappointing, like most. So so I'm all over the place. I have some Morpho. I like Morpho, and this is just in the Ethereum ecosystem, pretty much. I have a few in the Solana ecosystem, I have some in the base. So I'm a little bit everywhere, but a lot of them are just swing. The way I hold assets, they're swing trades. I get into it. Like I said, if I can get my capital out, that's my first rule. Then after that, if I put back in that capital that I took out, it's because I like the asset. It's at a good discount, and so forth. So that's how I've been trading. But it's been quiet for me for the past 6 months to 12 months, just waiting. Really, all I've been waiting for mostly and chilling is on Ethereum to break its all-time high of 2021, which it never did. So I've been chilling since.
Yeah, bro. So just to kind of recap, and I'll jump to Cliff, and I see Zach joined us too. Sorry, hold on one sec, guys. I'm multitasking, messaging stuff. So to recap, we talked about at the top, altcoins are moving a little bit. Bitcoin's not doing anything, but these are short-term, intermediate plays, I think. Algorand's continuing to show strength. Render has continued to show strength. This freaking meme core is about to flip Shiba Inu and become the second largest meme coin in the world. Quant had some news come out. They're pumping a little bit. FET has shown some overall strength for a little while. Near protocol waking up a little bit. I'm waiting for a breakout on Near. I think eventually we'll get that. Hyperliquid just turned back up a little bit, up 3% now. EdgeX enters the top 100. New PerpDex token, ranked 94 right now, sitting at 94 cents actually as we speak. That thing has been flying since we talked about it at 60 cents. And I'm in one meme coin right now, LOL on Solana. Not financial advice, but
I was looking at that one. Like, what the hell?
good.
Been making a lot of noise, that one. And
yeah, bro. I put 3 Sol into it at 0.009, and it's 0.011 right now.
Oh shit! Thanks.
Yeah, bro. I saw like I don't. So one of the it's not even a metric, but one of the indicators I use is when all the degens start just spamming my comments, it forces me to go look at it. So it actually fucking works. So these people who spam it, you know, like it's and they do it in a subtle way, and they're just like, you know, LOLs everywhere, like, oh, LOL, your tweet, LOL. I'm like, all right, what the hell is this LOL thing? Then I went and looked at it. It's been out for like a week, and I'm like, all right, structurally, this actually looks pretty decent. Community's going. You know, I run it through a couple checkers, and you know, just make sure it's not honeypot. All the basic shit there, and then it's like, all right, whatever. I'll take a little bet on it, whatever. Nothing crazy. Throw 3 Solana at it. If I can flip 3 Solana into 10, hey, that's cool. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like they're making some good moves. I think they're gonna list it on an exchange as well. I don't know. I haven't followed it. I haven't aped into anything yet. But I did look at the chart real quick to see if I should throw some SOL at it. And it looked healthy. Didn't look like a great entry when I looked at it. But I'd have to take another look at it.
I got in on the 31st on it. So when it was pumping back up, after that the only big red candle it has on the daily, if you look at the daily, I got in on that pump back up after the red candle on the way up at like 9.6 or something. I'm like, okay, whatever. We'll see what happens. But
yeah.
I think the bigger storylines right now, man, are like, you know, not necessarily like you don't have to make a play on all these things, but which assets are like showing strength throughout this bear market. I think a good thing to do is take note of that. And like, you know, you look at Hyperliquid, you look at BitTensor Tau, you look at really those two come to mind. Look at the assets that are not coming down as much, especially the ones that are showing strength in the bear market. And I think typically what we see when we get back into a better environment, those are your leaders. I think Hyperliquid's going to be a big time winner. I do. I just think they've built an ecosystem that is so vast right now. They're making money in a bear market, which you can't say that for 99% of these protocols, right? So yeah, I like Hyperliquid. I think the beta play there is Aster. And then obviously you got some other ones. I mean, I know Lighter's been a shit show, but you got that out there, and probably I would go with EdgeX right now. I mean, that thing, obviously, I don't know if I'd top blast it here, but if you got in a couple days ago when we talked about it, great. You're killing it. But yeah, the PerpDex stuff, I think the AI crypto narrative has shown some strength here the last few weeks, couple months, like with Render, even FET, very quietly kind of like hanging in there, you know? Like you look at Render, it hasn't had a blown off top or anything, but it's up 35% in the last month. I mean, the last month in crypto has been brutal, right? But if you look at it, it's kind of quietly up 31% in the last month. You know, like that's what you want to look for right now. And it's like, okay, when things get better, these sort of things are probably going to lead, you know? So that's kind of what I'm looking at, man.
I want to add to that because I think what you're saying is very important and it actually helped me probably do the trades. And a lot of people that I talk to, new people in the space, like they say, what should I get into? What should I sell it? Should I buy more? It's the biggest challenge for a lot of people, especially newcomers or even old timers. You know, they end up round tripping their bags for two main reasons. One is they're too focused on their P&L. So they won't exit until they're back in the break even or positive. That's one of the biggest mistakes of round tripping.
It's a good point.
Because and I always tell them, I go, don't look at the P&L. I know we're all going to look at it. We all want to be in profit. But for me, unrealized or realized profit is the exact same thing. I treat it the same. It's like I look at the current value of the asset I'm in. I don't care if I sold, realized it or not, and what it's worth on that day. And all I care about is its current status, its current chart, if I'm doing TA on it, or its current fundamentals, and what I think it will do going forward. I don't care when I got in. I don't care if I'm up or down on it. I only care about its present and its future status. So if you take that out of your head, oh shit, I'm down 30% or whatever. It's like you're not going to sell, even though you look at the project fundamentally, you think it's dead, social. You look at their social community, there's nobody. You look at the team, looks like they gave up, but you're not going to sell. Like, what the fuck? Because you're looking for that exit bump to break even or some shit. And next thing you know, you're down 80% instead of 30% because of that mentality. So that's number one, is not to round trip.
It's okay to take a small loss. It's okay to take a small loss and move on. Yeah, I'm with you,
I don't see it as a loss. I don't. See, that's my point, is I try to train my mentality to say that, okay, this asset is worth $1,000. I don't see it as, oh shit, I'm down 30%. I bought it for $1,500 and now it's worth $1,000. It's like, well, I don't want to sell it because I don't want to realize a $500 loss. No, I've already realized that loss months ago. It's worth $1,000 today. So for me, I look at it as it's a $1,000 asset. What do I do with this $1,000? Is there an opportunity cost that I can put it somewhere better? Or is this thing going to come back to life? Or is the team still building? Is it found the floor? And analyze it in its current state and in its current value. And, and the past is just why you got in. So not at the entry you got in. So I think that mentality can save a lot of people from round tripping.
Yeah,
that's number one.
There's also no problem with being patient and waiting. Usually patience is rewarded. And you guys,
100%.
You guys really made the perfect example for that. Speaking about XRP, Zach, you said when you were making videos at 50 cents, everyone told you XRP is dead. It's never coming back. It's a stable coin. It's this, it's that. Well, we just sat here and said that crypto is the same thing right now, right? All coins are dead. It's never coming back. Blah, 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 blah. It's the same exact thing. And then guess what? It turns around and does a freaking 10x. So patience is usually rewarded, especially in investments. And I can tell you, if you've ever traded or if you've ever held in the traditional stock market, you're not usually getting a pump like 6 months after you buy something. You have to sit on it and wait a little while. You have to have patience. So the more you move around and take losses, if you don't have conviction in buying it originally, then why spend your money? That's your money. Why would you take a loss if you don't plan on holding it until you get a profit? So do your research ahead of time so you don't have to experience a loss. Or if you do experience a loss, have the conviction to stomach it until it comes back around. As long as the token is not completely dead and everybody walks away from it, there's always an opportunity for it to come back. So even community takeover tokens come back when there's nobody left. Nobody. So there's always an opportunity. But I'll say this too, Zach. We've seen over the past few weeks now, alts have definitely started to take over and lead Bitcoin quite a bit. A few weeks ago, we were at almost 50% on the altcoin index, 50 of 100. It's trended a little bit lower since then. I think last night we were in the high 30s, like 39, maybe 40. But yeah, definitely seeing some movement in the AI sector. You guys mentioned Tau. FET has now caught a bid, and now it's looking like it's moved over towards near, which may also catch a bid here, especially with that Robinhood listing that they had last week or earlier this week. So that's a good one. We spoke about that one here also on the space a couple weeks ago before that listing. But yeah, man, I would also say, opportunity awaits because, as you know, in the in the news right now. It's get ready for fireworks this weekend, right? It's a long weekend. What we've been seeing over the past, I don't know, 5-6 months now is the weekend is usually when all the crazy stuff happens, when the traditional markets are closed. So, I mean, I wouldn't expect anything different at this point. Probably going to see something crazy happen this weekend. We've already been hearing about, bridges being taken out in Iran, and now the power infrastructure is a target as well. So probably a little, window into what we're going to see over the weekend. But yeah, I mean, opportunity awaits, those who are patient, who have some right now left on the sidelines that are waiting for potential opportunity to come around. And it appears as though we may still have those opportunities over the next however many months. So, what's crazy.
Cliff, real quick. I forgot to mention this on the recap because I mentioned this at the top of the space. Monad, man, their TVL is up almost 50% the last month. It now has a TVL of over 330 million. And so that thing's been ranging for a while, man. I bought some last night at the 2.4 level. I like this play a lot, bro, because I see a lot of similar things that I saw with SUI and that build up before the breakout. And then I also like that the lower range here on Monad, we've come down just below 2. Like that's been our low point, and we've bounced off that thing I don't know how many times. So last night, right before it was about to break out, I got in and just said, hey, even if it reverses on me, I like the risk versus reward ratio here. So I bought 5K of Monad, and I'm planning on just sitting there and holding it. I like it. It's just outside the top 100. I think this could have a SUI type run when we get out of this thing. These new layer ones, man, everybody knows, but if you've been in crypto long enough, the new shiny objects, they get all the love, right? We saw what happened last cycle. Solana had its moment, 2 cycles ago it was ETH, and then you have these ancillary plays like Avalanche and SUI, and I think Monad is one of those, along with Hyperliquid, that I think could have those type of breakout moments when we get back. Those two in particular I'm looking at on the layer one side. Obviously they're different plays, but yeah, man, just wanted to throw that out there. I think it's worth a look.
I agree, and yes, I believe, especially Hype with everything that's happening with that. They kind of exploded onto the scene, man, and really showed these centralized exchanges how it's supposed to be done. So there's definitely going to be interest around that one for sure. And Monad, I mean, that was the first pre-sale Coinbase ever did, I believe. So,
and it's the only one so far. They got money.
Yeah,
they got money.
Yeah, they got a lot of partnerships as well. So, yeah, those new L1s, like you said, usually explode. So there's a few good ones too, man. I think that are sitting on the lows too, man. C or Say, however you want to pronounce that, SEI. Sonic also sitting on the lows. There's a lot of good ones out there. So
I just like the new shiny objects, bro. Like I think sometimes if you get stuck in these things that were last cycle and 2 cycles ago, a lot of times you see that capital flow into the new things because it's all speculative, man. It's everybody's just throwing a bunch of shit at the wall and see what sticks, and people like to chase the new shiny object. And so that's how I'm playing these altcoins more so than anything else, bro. Sure, I still have some oldies, but hopefully goodies. I'm stuck in this Algorand right now, but Algorand's showing some strength the last month. It's up 50%. I'm still stuck in some Chainlink. I hope it comes back. But in terms of new capital I'm deploying, I want to get into things like Hyperliquid, Monad, because I think I can get some great outperformance when we get back into a better environment. I think Hype's going to be $150 when we get back into a good environment. I think it's a clean. What would that be?
It can go even higher than that easily.
No, I agree. I'm just looking at it right now, today, in this shit environment. I mean, given where we given where we're going in this space, bro, like
I know, man. I know.
Hyperliquid looks bullish, man. I you know, it is what it is. And I like Aster for the same reasons, because just going back to the speculative part,
it's new too.
It's new. It's sitting there. It's boring. It's sitting there like it doesn't go below 65 cents hardly ever. Like, yeah. I mean, that dropped down to whatever it got to. When the hell did it dip? I can't even remember. But it took a dip, and it dipped down below 50 cents on. Might have been when Bitcoin nosedived. But other than that,
yes.
You know, it's just been chilling. And I'm like, I feel the same way about Aster as I did when XRP was just chilling in a 10-cent range. Nobody gave a shit about it. And I'll take that. What XRP did, a 6x in 6 weeks. I'm hoping to get something similar out of Aster, Monad, Hyperliquid, these sort of things, man. These big momentum swings.
I think we're going to get it too eventually, Zach. And I think just like we saw the excitement and anticipation around the last general election, I think we're going to see that same thing during the midterm. And the reason for that will be, let's say some, I don't want to say handcuffs, but there will be something to subdue the bull in the china shop probably in the next few months. So that could probably be considered bullish for a market that's seen a lot of uncertainty.
I'm getting shilled meme coins right now on YouTube, so that's hilarious. That's always a good sign, though. The trenches are opening, I think, guys. Slowly.
What Clifford said, and Zach, what you're saying, patience, I think, is the key thing. Most of my gains came from just sitting on assets until they had their day in the sun. They eventually come back, you know, and maybe even we actually, Gary Cardone, as a listener, can shed some light on patience, because maybe he can teach us a little bit of patience. You know, what does he do while he's waiting for the markets or while he's investing? He's making some nice paintings. You can see on his timeline, he's been doing some awesome artwork. So maybe he can teach us a little bit about patience.
Well, and I think too, Gary's welcome to come up, man. Always. I think too, though, you could sit on the wrong assets for a long time as well, right? Like,
sure.
You can also sit there and at some point you got to just say, hey, I was wrong, and rotate, you know? And so, like
SHIB is a perfect example of that.
Yeah. I mean, you could, this stuff that was last cycle, man. And this is why I go back. I mean, we talk about this all the time. You got to have a strong Bitcoin position. You want to go gamble and all this other stuff, great. But you got to have a strong Bitcoin position, because there's no guarantees this shit's going to be here 5 years from now. I mean, a lot of this stuff. But if you're a momentum trader, you want to get into the new shiny shit, you know, and then use that as leverage to then get more Bitcoin or get more whatever top stocks you like, or gold. If you're a gold bug, go for it, you know. So you leverage these short-term plays, swing trades, and get into your long-term assets with it. Like, that's how you play it. I know, Zach, you feel the same way, bro. We've talked about this a ton.
100%. Yeah, man, 100%. I think I said a couple of days ago, Zach, that meme coins are about to start popping. When things kind of subside and die out, like, there needs to be some traction. But I think the ultimate key is for Trump to get out of Iran, and we need to lower interest rates, because he needs to fix the housing market. Without that, I think we're headed down. But if he can fix that, get low interest rates, I see most of these altcoins moving up, just like Bitcoin. And then, just like we said, you rotate that into better plays. But for me, it's really now we're moving into the point of, you know, the crypto, the sector that projects with revenue are going to be key to success. The Asters, you know, the Perp Dexes, like, that is the true, that's where I'm positioning my money, right? And in the meantime, where everyone's complaining and stuff, like, go fucking build a business, get some cash flow. Like, instead of just sitting there waiting for things you think are going to come back from 2021, like, you could use your time wisely and build something, right? Some of the worst advice I heard is, you know, diversifying so much. But if you look at the real rich people, they kind of went all in on one thing, right? They didn't over diversify, because you can over diversify in dog shit, right? And you end up with no money at the end of the day. So you do have to move with the times. I mean, AI, the top altcoins, Bitcoin, obviously Bitcoin is the the top and use that as leverage. But I really think we need to get out of this. Hopefully Trump, within the next month, just gets out of Iran, gets the oil, whatever he wants to do, get out of there, lower interest rates, and fix this housing market, because that's the catalyst that could take us even worse than we are now. If he fixes that, and there's more money to lend and all that great stuff, we're going to see what everyone wants: altcoins moving up and Bitcoin moving up, and the risk assets moving up. But we have to fix some things first, on top of the macro stuff. But yeah.
Did you make a play? Did you make a play on Edge?
I did not.
This thing's flying, man. It's pulling back a little bit here, but yeah, man, it's looking strong.
I just been buying Bitcoin, man. Honestly, like, nothing excites me right now. That and finding the right AI plays. Pretty heavy in BitTensor. You got in before me, but the AI stuff I still think is going to do very, very well. It's the wars, man. The war and the high interest rates are not good for anybody.
BitTensor's turning up right now, actually. Again, it came back down, retraced under 300. I took some profits when we peaked up over 350 because I was buying it at like 180. I made a video in mid-February, and I said, hey, things look good here, man. And if you look at the monthly chart, you can kind of see what I'm saying. It kind of broke out of that 175 range and looked like it wanted to go chase up from there. And it eventually did, and it got all the hype around it. Everybody started talking about it. But immediately, man, when everybody and their brother's talking about it, when you're on these alts, that's the perfect signal to take profits if you position correctly. And exactly that happened. The minute it was all over the timeline for 2 days, we dropped down from 365 down to under 3. But now it's picking back up, and I like that it's quiet. It's quietly picking back up. So I still own some. I think it's an interesting long-term bet, the whole decentralized AI narrative. I think when the whole AI thing really comes back, when we start to see NVIDIA in the news and the AI build out again, because all that stuff will resurface. That stuff's not going away. I think the AI crypto sector is going to be very, very interesting. BitTensor, Tau, Near. And if you look at what's been showing strength here, look at Render. Render very quietly up 36% in the last month. Okay, Bitcoin ain't up 36% in the last month. I'll tell you that. Again, it's short-term plays, but it's off the heels of what people are going to speculate on when we get into a better environment. I think the AI sector, I know you and I have talked about this offline, that is going to be an area where people are going to speculate. So it's a great way to kind of get yourself prepared now and do some digging into those areas. BitTensor, Near, Render would probably be the three at the top of my list.
Definitely. I'm working with a project right now. I'm not going to name them just because we don't do that, but their dev was one of the developers of Near Protocol. So what they're building is pretty epic. I'll hit you in the back channels what it is. They haven't released it yet, but they're SEC compliant, all kinds of great stuff. But I think they're kind of what they're doing is what the space needs. I'll explain later on that. But it's pretty cool. It's for the average person for trading, and it kind of locks in and does things for you. So it makes it easier for the person that's working the 9 to 5 that can't sit on these spaces and, learn what's going on. And that is all AI stuff. So that's kind of where I'm like, in my head, like the projects that win are ones that create revenue and that are adapting to the tech, right? You don't have to be the shiniest new object. You just got to have something that produces revenue and actually has people use it, right? We talk about this all the time. Some people, they're holding stuff from 2021 that's slowly dying. It's because they're losing users. And in order to grow, you need more users and more liquidity. So I'm watching that stuff and seeing what's really moving. Same with layer 1 blockchains. Layer 2's like, where's
Monad, man. Monad.
Yeah.
They got money out the ass, Zach. I'm telling you.
That's where you got to go, man.
They're ranked 104 right now. They're getting ready to break out again, by the way. They're trying to get out of this range. They almost did it at about an hour ago, and we're retesting the mid 2.7s right now. Keep an eye on this thing, man, because if this thing can break out, we peaked up at over 4.5 cents in late November. Other than that, man, it's just been range bound, but it's just outside the top 100. And again, Coinbase launched this. It's their only ever, thing that they've launched on their, whatever you want to call it, their new, I guess, launch pad. I'm looking at that stuff, man. Like Hyperliquid. These are the things. Hyperliquid's spinning off cash. You either better have a business model that spins off cash, or you better be locked and loaded with a bunch of cash where you can pump it. That's altcoins. That's altcoins in a nutshell, bro. Right there.
Yeah, they're up 22% in 1 month. I mean, that's pretty good in these bad times. So yeah, obviously
there's always an opportunity, man. You know, while I sit there and wait and DCA into Bitcoin, I'm not just going to sit there and wait, man. I'm in crypto. I'm going to go hunt and find some other things, man, in the intermediary, and be disciplined. Take your damn profits. Don't get in there and believe and drink all the fucking Kool-Aid. Take your damn profits along the way, and it allows you to stack more fucking Bitcoin. It's really fucking simple. It's stupid, dumb, simple. If you just want to sit there and buy Bitcoin, that's fine. You don't need to shit on altcoins, though, because guess what? There's a ton of people that came in by way of all these altcoins that now own a shit ton of Bitcoin. And so people who love to hate on it, like, people didn't find Bitcoin first a lot of times, especially in the last cycle, 2020, 2021. They found fucking Dogecoin because Elon Musk. And then the smart people rotated and said, wait a minute, Dogecoin's just a fucking meme coin. I made some money on it. I better put this money into Bitcoin. So that will happen again and again and again and again and again. But if you're smart about it, you can find the momentum, find the narrative shifting, find the protocols that are making money, see where big money's moving into, run it up. When it hits your targets, take your profits and store your wealth in Bitcoin. For a lot of people, man, Bitcoin isn't a way to get rich. It's a way to stay rich, right? And so that's how I look at Bitcoin. It's a savings account on steroids. It's a 401k on steroids. For a lot of people, unless you're a multi-gazillionaire, you could just go and, you know, buy 1,000 Bitcoin at $66,000 right now, which is not the norm. Bitcoin should be a place where when you hit on these other trades, these other assets, that's where you store your wealth. You keep it in crypto and you put it in Bitcoin. You let it stack. You could do all that while still DCAing into Bitcoin too, right? But I hear a lot of people, I'm already priced out of Bitcoin. I can't afford it. That's bullshit, man. Find a way. Find a way. So, is what it is.
No, I agree with everything you're saying. I'm the same way. I'm trading or swing trading or into most alts on a shorter time frame, especially chasing sometimes the shiny new things and capitalizing on that. But the goal is to take those gains and be able to stack and have more Bitcoin, because that's where I see storing my wealth for the long haul. So I'm definitely on the same page. But I had a question on a different topic. What do you think about this Clarity Act once it gets, let's say, approved or passed? Obviously, we don't know the details because of all the drafts. What do you think is going to happen to the markets? Maybe that could kick off alt season, or could that be the end of whatever?
I think it's something that would be positive. I don't think it would immediately pump the market. I think what's going to pump the market is a Fed pivot, a new Fed chair, and money printing, liquidity. That's what we need. I mean,
yeah, I think the Clarity Act.
Well,
and the Clarity Act, I think, will be a part of it, you know, but I don't think there's a bunch of people waiting on the sideline to when the Clarity Act gets signed through and they're just going to rifle a bunch of money into it. Like, I think it's more about getting into a risk-on environment, right? And that's with stocks, that's with crypto, that's with people just don't want to take risk right now. I mean, people are just risk off. And how you get risk on is a Fed pivot and liquidity, money printing.
No, definitely. But I think it can attract some liquidity, like you said, not in the immediate, but similar to when the Bitcoin ETFs got launched in 2024 at first. And, you know, after having it did generate a lot of liquidity from those types of investors. So I think the Clarity Act will attract some type of investors in the short term as well, even though it's more of a long-term thing. So yeah, and a lot of people are waiting on that. And I think I saw there was an interview with a Coinbase, or whoever he was, that was saying, he was kind of saying confident, saying that it's basically gonna be cleared up in the coming days. I think he had said 48 hours, and that was like a day or two ago. So that's just speculation. But yeah, I'm wondering if that can give us a bit of juice into the market, some attraction, or anything to spark, some little catalyst to spark some interest. But in the end, you're right. It's all about the liquidity flowing in, but something has to attract the liquidity as well. I think a lot of the liquidity is sidelined. It's not that with so much that we in money printing, even though that's a big thing and it needs to go down. But there's a lot of, I think, standby, sideline liquidity. Everybody's just waiting with so much uncertainty everywhere. So I think it could flow in pretty quickly once some things settle down and there's less uncertainty with war or even regulation or anything really.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think it's certainly not a bad thing, right? And I think I think the Clarity Act more so would be bullish for institutions than it would be for retail, right? And so I take that. That's the way I take that. Like, there could be a lot of institutions sitting there waiting to deploy capital, but retail, I think, what we've seen is retail comes in when money's cheap, and people feel good about their everyday life. I mean, right now, retail, is trying to afford $9 for a dozen of eggs. You know what I mean? If they want the organic brown eggs, bro, you're paying like $1 an egg.
That's why I got chickens.
It's fucking wild, dude.
It's so true, man. No, it's true. No one has any money. They need to lower interest rates, and that's where it starts. That money printer come on, and then fix the housing market. Then people, things level out. People want to invest more, and then risk.
Zach, I need to ask you about something too, bro. Offline, I meant to. So I'm looking at a plot of land right now. There's a house on it and everything, and like, I think it's a great deal. You don't know the market necessarily where I'm at, but you have a better idea probably of the general real estate market than I do. I wanted to ask you about it because I'm thinking about it, man. I'm thinking about it.
Is it like a Zillow thing? Is there something you could send me? Or?
Yeah, I'll text it to you actually.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm gonna text this to you. So it's in my neck of the woods, so Midwest, but
single family, multifamily.
No, this would just be for me.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking about so moving out of my condo maybe, and I put some money into this place, and I probably can make a little bit on it, and but yeah, I'll send it to you, bro, and see what you think.
Cool, man. That's
just
awesome.
In general about it.
Congrats. I'm telling you, also, like, I really think, Trump, this is the one good thing about Trump. Everyone hates him, but he's a low interest rate kind of guy. And that's really, really good for both what we're trying to do, me selling the hotel and you trying to buy something. Like, that will spark the economy a little bit. It doesn't hit the average person right away, but it helps move things in the right direction. And that's all for all of us in these risk assets too. Like, things need to stable out a little bit. Like you said, eggs it's ridiculous price to even eat healthy. It's like, no one can afford it. I barely can. I'm in a business, right? So we got to be realistic with ourselves. And that's why there's also not a lot of liquidity, coming in. People are kind of just really waiting to see what happens. Are we going to get out of war? Is this going to be prolonged forever? What's interest rates are going to do? Like, really, that's the way I look at the market right now. Macro, you kind of have to, right? It's like, I hear some of these Bitcoin spaces, and they talk a little bit, but they're more just like Bitcoin focused, but you kind of have to be more broad and understand the macro effect on why things change. You know what I mean? But at your point, Zach, I think it's a good time to buy and it's a good time to sell. I'm just waiting for, the interest rates, but send it to me. I would love to check it out.
I just texted it to you. Let me know what you think. It's, dude, it's kind of cool. You'll see there's horses, and I think I just turned that barn into like a massive freaking gym, and maybe put a bar in there too. You can have a drink after the gym or something. I don't know, dude. There's opportunities there. It's good amount of acres too. Like, it's pretty cool. Little homestead. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, dude. We were talking about this yesterday. No matter where you are, like financially, like you have to realize where the world is, and like this is the time to dial back. I'll give you an example. Like, normally I go to freaking Florida 3 times in the winter, like sometimes all winter, and I didn't go once this year, man. I was like, let me just save some of that capital. Let me sit back and hoard some cash. Like, you got to make some sacrifices, man, when times are like this. I know it's hard to just even get by, but at the same time, you can't waste money either, man. And you gotta dial back some things that, you know, you used to do or whatever. Shit, I couldn't go to Florida this winter because I wanted to eat healthy. You know, you got to make some choices.
I'm liking this, Zach.
You like that, dude? Yeah, isn't it freaking cool? How about the neighbor's place, dude? The neighbor's place looks like they got a fucking pad.
Yeah, man, this is sweet. Like, and that's funny. I mean, the acres are great too. I know this is in the real estate space, but I'm gonna do a little research on this because very interesting, and for the price is not bad.
Not bad, right? Dude, I think. What do you think? If I put a cash offer in on this, Zach, at like 20% from that price?
I would personally, if I were you, I would get a home inspection first because that gives you negotiating power.
It is an old, relatively old, 71.
Right, but that will give you negotiating power. And then it might, who knows how much you can save from that.
It needs a little bit of work, but dude, there's so many possibilities.
Dude, it's real. I mean, it's hard to find that kind of land, especially where I'm from. Like, that's a really reasonable price. I was looking at this kind of around the same price around in Florida to buy something. But
so was I, man. I just can't get over the HOA fees and the insurance.
Oh, I know.
Dude. I can't do it, man. I almost pulled the trigger like 2 or 3 times, man. But honestly, I started thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? God willing, as long as I keep doing well and investments pan out and all that, I'm just going to go to Florida whenever I want. And I know people who live there and be like, hey, I'll rent your place for a month. You know, like, I don't want the hassle of fucking owning this shit, dude.
And then you don't have the headache of it. I thought about the same thing.
Just go there whenever we want, you know? Just go there whenever we want.
This is very, very interesting here. Yeah, I got to do more research on the place, basically, but I really like it.
Yeah, let me know what you think, dude. Just in general.
Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna do some research while I'm on here. All right, back to crypto. Sorry, guys.
No, man. I know you're a real estate guy, and it's like dude, I've been looking for a while, and there's a couple places. There's one place that had 40 acres, but it just needed so much work. Like, this one's like, okay, it needs a little bit of work, but not that much.
Yeah, no.
Mar, what's up, man?
What's up, Zach? Good morning to everyone. Yeah, man, here just chilling, getting ready to start the 9 to 9. Actually, I think today is like 9 to 11. So, yeah, sucks. But listening to you, man, when it comes to real estate, at least my opinion, if you're going to buy an apartment is more like an investment where you're probably going to stay there a few months for your vacation, or you're going to have it rented out. It's just easier to maintain, and just make sure that, the HOA don't overpass, your rent, because that's what's going on with HOAs, with apartments and HOA, where, between that's why apartments are not selling that much especially down here in South Florida, due to the fact that between the HOA and the interest rate, you're paying more on the mortgage. So if you're paying more on the mortgage, that means for someone that wants to finance buy as an investment property, you're going to be paying like $2,600 in mortgage, but the rent, you can only rent it out for $2,100. So apartments right now are either selling because they're buying it cash, which you could get great deals out of them. If you buy it cash, like the one that me and my friend just recently bought. And if you buy it cash, you don't have to worry about, of course, the interest rates or anything. So you'll be making money out of the rent. But, man, these HOAs are just a fucking scam. I mean, if you're buying an apartment, you better have a good, the guy in charge of the HOA not to be, greedy or, fuck you over in a little hole in the pool, $50,000, It's a lot of them are under investigation down here in Florida. And this is crazy. This is the fucked up thing, Zach. When when the government, I'm gonna say the government takes over the complex as the HOA, it doubles up. So if it was 400, it's 800 because now the government is trying to bring reserves into the building, and it's just horrible, man. I wouldn't touch an apartment unless, like the one I bought with a friend of mine, is as an investment to flip it right quick, you know, or to rent it out. But yeah, I will buy a house, man. I will stay away from the HOA. The only time an HOA is pretty decent if it's a townhouse. And the insurance, the exterior insurance and the interior insurance is yours. All they cover is the security house and cutting the grass. They could get away with, you know, $80-$70 a month, but they can't come up with bullshit like, oh, this and that, because you're covering your own insurance, exterior and interior. So they can't come up with, you know, like, okay, what, the grass got a little bit more expensive in the last 10 years for cutting grass? Okay, the security house needs a little bit of work. Okay, that's fine. Even a pool, sometimes you could get away with it. So yeah, that's the only HOA that I feel like it's good. I had a friend of mine that bought a house and it has like a $60 HOA a month because it has a, you know, security, and he feels safer that way, you know. But yeah, man, other than that, going to crypto, yeah, Monad, man. I actually hold I actually hold a 5K position on Monad, but I got in under I bought Monad, and I said it here a long time ago. I bought Monad on the 20 cents. I'm buying this shit on the pre-sale price. I think one of the lowest buys that I had on Monad, 17 cents, 1.7 cents. It was 1.7 cents. That's when I hit my my buying. I think that was the biggest buy I did on Mona. I think it was like $2,000. So I have around $5,000. Well, I have more than $5,000 now because I'm up. But that's what I got in. I got in with $5,000.
I'm still pissed, Mar. I only put $1,000 into that damn pre-sale.
Yeah, no,
idiot, man.
What was the pre-sale price? 2.5. Yeah,
2.5. Yeah. But then when it gapped up to 4.5, almost 5.
Yeah.
So I doubled it. I mean, I just got all the way out with $2,000. I'm like, why didn't I put fucking?
I made money off the pre-sale. I got out completely, and then I started buying Monad again with the money that I made with. Plus, I put a little extra more on around 1.8, 1.7, anything on the 2 cents. I've been buying Monad. 2 reasons why, man. It's just, I mean, unless they're scammers, but you can't have that mentality like think every project is gonna scam you, because then you don't get in anything. They got a lot of money, bro. They have money. $250 million. I don't think so, but they have a lot of money. I just see it like they got a lot of money to run a campaign and a marketing campaign during the next bull market. And you know what the Monad campaign is? Monad to $1. So if you're buying it at 2 cents or 2.5 cents, that's what easily a 30x your money. So that's why I went in with $5,000. I'm like, if I could get on the 2 cents, 50x this bitch, I know that's insane. You shouldn't be going into something and saying I want to 50x it. You know, if I 50x that, you know, that's big time money. You know, so yeah, that's for me. That's am I gonna take all my profits at exactly $1? No. Once it probably hits 20 cents, 15 cents, I'll start DCA now all the way up to like 90 cents, whatever it is. I'm not going to wait for the $1. I roll just like Zach from Subway. The $1 is the bait, so I'll sell before the $1. But other than that, man, yeah, that's what I'm bullish on Monad.
Speaking of $1, bro, EdgeX just hit $1.
Well, is that EdgeX? Yeah, I'm the clown. I told you yesterday on this space, or the Wabi space, I told you I'm waiting for 30 cents. It's hard for me, man. Like I didn't know the ICO, the private sale price. So I'm like, but their project, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Their project blows fucking Hyperliquid away. I mean, and I said this here, it just runs smooth as hell. You move around. It's a great product, man. it's a great product. It's a AAA fucking product. They put money into that shit. I gotta give them to that. And sometimes, man, it doesn't look. Universal Access, we're part of our network. They have a great product, and they're sitting at 40 million. It doesn't always mean having a great product also moves the charts, but eventually it will. You just how do you guys? I know someone earlier was saying, you just gotta have patience. And
they're burning too, Mar.
Yeah,
they're burning like crazy, bro. They just burned 2.5 million edge, and like they're posting all the they're you know what they're doing, bro. They're running the hyperliquid model.
Yeah. But dude, the platform is like, I don't know, man, but I go to Hyperliquid. Does Hyperliquid even have an app? Do they even have an app?
I don't think so.
I don't think. You go into Hyperliquid and even ask her, and it feels clunky, dude. And then you go into something like Universal X or Edge X. For some reason, every time it ends on X, bro, they built. It's an awesome fucking project. You move around. I'll be shocked if HX doesn't hit a billion market cap. I know people are probably right now saying, "Look at this clown. Then why did you put money into it?" Well, it's easier said than done. But that's a product, man. It's a really good product.
After you said it, I'm in. Since last night I came in. You're right, man. And they're bringing prediction markets too.
Yeah.
There's spot markets in beta. They're gonna have spot. It's smooth. It's smooth.
Yeah, like it's what I'm saying, man. Like, I don't know if you remember back in the days in gaming. I said it here. You had games that ran at 30 frames, horrible frame rates, and then you have the great games that started taking over, like Call of Duty. They were running 60 frames. I see a lot of these applications that are running horrible. Like, they're clunky, and like you could tell it's a sorry ass build. I truly feel like HX, dude, when I went in, I mean, I got the app. I saw one of your posts, and I'm like, oh, let me check it out. I downloaded it, and I was like, oh, shit, this is a good product. I was waiting for the coin to go maybe under 40 cents to buy a little bit, and then 30 cents, but it is what it is. You can't catch everything.
Hey, Mark, I made that mistake many times. I just wanted to say, like, when I see an asset that I really like, look at the chart, chart doesn't look too great. I'm going to wait for an entry. I get sidelined, and then the entry never comes, and it just keeps ripping and ripping. So what I've done after I've hit many opportunity losses because of that, is when I see an asset, if I really like it, I just put in a little bit. It keeps me more attentive to it. For starters, it comes onto my watch list easier. And if it runs, at least I have a little bit of exposure. If it doesn't run, and obviously it was a bad entry, who cares? You put in a small amount. Now you can put in the other amount that you want. So sometimes it's better to just have some exposure to it, just a little bit, because chances are that some of these assets we never end up getting in because we never got our entry. And I did the same thing with LOL, mostly because I'm not too much big on memes. And I didn't know anything about it. It's like, I looked at the chart. I said I should get into this. It's making a lot of noise. But I didn't throw any soul at it because the chart didn't look good. But had I thrown soul on it, I still would have been up, So yeah, just wanted to mention that for you and for all the listeners too. Sometimes, if you like an asset, don't wait for the best entry, even though it doesn't look like a good entry. Put a little bit of something. If the entry looks bad, that's my thing. Because you end up missing some runners because of that.
Like Dante, I'll tell you, man, the product that HX has built, if they would have launched this shit on a bull market, Zach, and I have a chance to get in at 250 mil, I'm fucking full clipping this bitch. But we're in a bear market, and when I see a 250 mil and I'm not sure about the private sale, I kind of like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah. I missed a lot that way, though, but I get you because I'm the same way. I'm like, this is terrible. Let the hype down. Yeah. There's too much hype around it. People are going to take profits and all that. Right. But I missed a lot of runners that way, too. But yeah, it's also saved me from buying tops.
But one thing I guarantee you, a HyperX in a bull market launching like they launch on a bull market, the $250 million market cap will not last that long. It will not last that long. It'll probably be easily on the 600, 700, even to $1 billion. You know,
possible.
So
interesting. I haven't looked into it, so it definitely sounds interesting because I'm a big fan of these hyper liquid type of plays because they generate real revenues, and if they have strong tokenomics and fundamentals, where those revenues are reinvested into to benefit the holders or the price action like buybacks and stuff, solid place.
Mark, to your point, that is one thing to consider, bro. There is no clear public breakdown of like the seed rounds or any unlocks right now, or you know what I'm saying? The price I think that retail could have got it at the lowest price. Well, I think it ICO'd to like 65, but then it came down to 50 cents.
50 cents.
Yeah.
I think that could be kind of like the. Yeah, I think that could be the floor. Just kind of like Monad, Monad 1.7, 1.8. You could say that's the floor.
They say insiders got at least 25% of the supply, team and internal allocation. But we don't know the vesting, bro.
Yeah,
that's what we need to know.
The vesting. That's what, at least if the.
I'll see if I can figure it out, dude. Because I've been working with these guys for over a month. I'll see if I can figure it out. See if they give it to me.
Tell them to give us some tokens too.
Yeah, right. Shit.
Well, that's not to to chill, but that is why Brian from Paul took so long to make this deal happen, because they just didn't want to give away tokens. They gave away the our part of the IP of the company. They just didn't want to give away tokens. And I understand his mentality, bro, because why give away your shares of the company if at the end you own the shares? You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
that's just going to be worth a lot of money. Yeah, you gave away the tech to people that are really going to push it, but they're going to be doing you a favor because you're holding shares, So, yeah, man, that's one thing that he wanted to, when we met in person here, when I met you, Zach, saw him the day after, he goes, well, I want to find a way to bring in money to keep building this shit, but without giving away tokens, or at least a huge amount. But also, Zach, if you have a great product like HX and you gave away tokens, you had, let me tell you, this thing costs millions to build. I know a product, and I'm pushing the product where if nobody here wants to buy the token, whatever, it's a great fucking product and it costs millions to build this shit. You could just see it. And you give away tokens, but you have a good vesting period and you have a good product that could last 10 years in the space or more, then if you have a good vesting schedule, it shouldn't hurt the chart and investors coming in.
Correct. Correct. As long as you have it set up. And a lot of times if they do it right, it's over like a 2-year period. It's similar to stocks too. Usually it's over a 2-year period, maybe 20-25% unlocked at TGE, which is fair, and investors are able to, have some liquid, and then they know that they're investing in a good project over 2 years, and they get whatever that little percentage is over a 2-year period. Sometimes it's a year. A lot of times it's 12, 18, or 24 months. I am looking here. I knew this about it too from when I first looked at this. They had a big backing from Circle, and that's what drew me in. And then they contacted me. Actually, who I got contacted by for it was Cointelegraph, one of the largest media outlets. And bro, they were running a marketing campaign, and I'm like, this is nuts. Like they were putting some money out into this marketing campaign. So I looked at it and I'm like, okay, like Cointelegraph, Circle, I'm like, it's always a risk being like a content creator because there are no guarantees, man. And like when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's just, but I saw something in it, man, and I'm like, okay. And But I will say this, bro, and this kind of actually it's kind of actually was a positive to me. They said we're not doing any token deals, any token allocation to influencers. I said I actually kind of like that because there's a lot of influencers in this space that are dog shit. And so yeah, I waited, and I should have bought it at fucking 60 cents, and I waited. I got in at 70, so I put 5K in EdgeX at 70, and I put 5K into Monad late last night. So those are my two new plays that I'm in, and I think I'm just gonna ride this EdgeX for a while, man. Honestly, I like that entry. I'm just gonna chill.
I mean, if it hits $1.50, get your shit out and just leave the house money in there if you want.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
At 98 cents now. Holy fuck.
Yeah,
I got
just wicked up to $1.01.
Yeah. Motherfucker.
I know,
Yeah,
bro.
I saw it at what? 60 cents when you spoke about it. I had a chance to get in at 61 cents. And this would have been a big trade for me. I mean, I would have gone in with easily probably, 5 figures on it. I would have traded it, but when I asked you, man, I don't know. I got the Monad thing, like, oh, can it go down? And then I have a chance. I was patient with Monad after I got out of the pre-sale,
Yeah.
But
I should have reaccumulated when you did down there. But I got in yesterday at like noon. It dropped down. It was kind of climbing up since the 31st. Like when they launched, they came back down to 50, and then they had a big wick up, and I'm like, shit, did I miss it? Then it just kind of traded sideways for a while, and I'm like, all right, screw it, I'm gonna go. And a lot of it's luck, bro. You don't know for sure what this shit's gonna do. I mean, at the end of the day, man, I've had so many go the other way on me too. But I mean, I did know, to your point, the platform's nice. They got money behind them. Their plans with prediction markets and then spot. I mean, they kind of want to be a one-stop shop. So I'm like, all right, and they got the money. I'm like, I think they're gonna do something. So we'll see, bro. But I'm bullish on Monad too, man. I'm looking now at like some of the stuff I've bought recently. Hype, Monad, and now EdgeX. Like, I kind of like that, man. I kind of like that trio. And I own a good amount of Aster still too. I'll throw that one in there too, like things that I think next cycle when we get back and rocking and rolling, man. I like those 4: Hyperliquid, Monad, EdgeX, Aster now. Those 4, man. So
like these are things that you're like, okay, CC's behind Aster. Why can't Aster have an app like EdgeX?
They got the money, bro. Like, what?
They got the money. Why can't they build something like it?
And maybe they will. Maybe they'll see.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the beautiful thing about their situation. They can go and see what other people build, and they're like, "Oh, that's working. All right, we'll just go do that." And then they got the people they can market it to through Binance, obviously. But I guess this EdgeX, because the platform was out for a while before the token, massive in Japan, massive in Asia, dude. And the volume on it was crazy. That was the thing I was watching before their token launch. I was looking at volume of perp dexes. I'm like, damn, this is EdgeX. Like, I'm like, shit, it's being used. Yeah.
2 billion, right? 2 billion.
Yeah.
And you think that Hyperliquid maybe had a little retrace because of people probably
maybe a little bit. Yeah. Maybe.
We know that Hyperliquid had a nice retrace with when Aster was pumping,
Hype's looking good though right now. It's turning back up. Dip down to what did it get down to? Like 34?
Yeah, I think 34, 33.
Yeah.
I didn't buy it. Yeah, 34.
Yeah.
No, I didn't buy it.
No,
There's something about Hyperliquid that always kept me from fucking going full on it, bro.
I feel that, dude.
You know what it is? You know what? Which HyperX also has that issue too, where you need a VPN, to in the US, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
You know what threw me for a loop is when Aster launched. I was like, oh man, they're gonna steal the show away from Hyperliquid. And then Hyperliquid had that FUD as well. Like, there was a couple of those things that just like lingered in my mind, and it 100%, bro, it kept me from going all in. But when I saw it go down below 30, And after listening to a lot more people, like Wabi was talking about it quite a bit, and I saw that opportunity below 30. I'm like, all right, I'll take a stab at this here.
Sometimes I feel like Wabi has his own investment in hype. He loves hype, you know.
Oh, he's got to have a big spot.
Yeah, he loves Hyperliquid. That guy, let me tell you something.
Hyperliquid and Robinhood.
Let me tell you something. That guy's smart as fuck, man.
I can tell, man.
Listen to that guy, and he's cold-blooded, dude. Once he makes a decision, doesn't matter who, he sticks to it. But I've been listening to him for a while, and the one thing I don't know how he could stand listening to David for almost an hour.
He lets that dude go, man.
I guess he lets him speak. He's like, man, I just want to chill back, open up the space, and let him go. But let me tell you, man, that David knows, man. He's just so much everywhere that he sounds crazy. But the guy knows.
Oh, he's smart.
He's smart as fuck, dude. No, when he goes with the Bitcoiners, man, oh man, it's
David's got a hint of the tism for sure.
Yeah, bro. Don't tell him if you tell him that he said something and you're lying about it. Oh, he will go nuts. So sure, but yeah, man. One thing, Zach, I did want to bring up because when you were talking about Sui, remember, Sui also took, I think, 1 or 2 timeouts. It wasn't only a hack with their main decks. They took like 1 or 2 timeouts.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, they did a Solana timeout, like 1 or 2. I know one time for sure, and I think that's. But yeah, man, the Sui never recovered after that hack. It wasn't the same.
No,
it wasn't the same after the hack. I feel like Sui was like you know, you have a famous band. And then you have another band that just became a little bit famous because of that famous band. They kind of did the same thing as that famous band. I feel like that's Sui. What they got famous just because of Solana. They were kind of similar, you know.
They had all the VC backing, the Facebook narrative, and the Raul Pauls of the world. Yeah, they had all the same kind of ingredients that Solana had.
I don't know, man. A lot of these chains, I don't know how they're gonna get back up.
The thing with Solana, though, that's different than Sui, in my opinion, is, bro, like they captured a retail audience big time. Obviously, I mean, with Phantom Wallet and all of that, like Sui had this real, like, it still does, like this, like real niche, like market in retail, but it's not like mainstream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I like their wallet actually. I think their wallet's epic. The Slush wallet, it's really nice, but like. It just didn't catch on so far like Saul did, man.
Yeah, if I was to guess, I think Sui is done. I think they're done.
It's tough to go. It's tough to go put a bunch of money in there right now. I'll tell you that. When you have Hyperliquid, Monad, all this new stuff, Edgex, Aster, you know what I mean? Like, because you got to prioritize. You know, you can't put money in everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Zach. I'm going to put money. I'm putting money in the new thing that they got, you know, and just it's a psycho trade, man. You know, it's a psycho trade, and I think, you know, HX, Monad, Hyperliquid. I think those are the ones you want to, you know, bring into the new cycle. You know, a bunch more. You know,
BitTensor Tau, I think is going to be a next cycle play. Yep. No, like, you mentioned World Liberty Fi. I can see that, bro. I mean, I know
it's talk about it too much, man, because people but I started to buy it again. Fuck it, it's house money, you know. I try to it's more like a psychological thing. Okay, I'm using this money that I made of World Liberty Finance into World Liberty Finance now. But yeah, man, I'm putting my money on Trump, man. I'm putting my money on Trump, and that I don't think Trump could fail. He could fail his investors, man, when it comes to World Liberty Finance. You know?
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. I think he's just going to pump it for the hell of it.
Yeah, I'm looking at a 10x, maybe hitting 30 billion in a nice bull run.
You know? I like Near though too, Near Protocol too. I think both that and Tau and the AI thing, and I'm looking at some of these other AI ones like Virtuals and Render. some of the other ones that have kind of had an early run, but like probably could have another bigger run. You know what I mean? Because like Render had a run, Virtuals had a run, but it wasn't like a clear on run in the bull market type thing. Like it was, you know what I mean?
Right. The one thing I could tell you, Zach, I think there's a meme coin coming.
Wow, we need one, bro.
Yeah,
we need a Pepe. We need a Pepe type moment.
Yeah,
bro.
well, I think there's one. I've been here listening in spaces, people begging for it already, and there's people always listening, Zach. These cabals are always listening, and they're like, okay, they're begging for a Bitcoin,
Yeah.
Let's pump one, It's gonna be something completely all new. Like, remember how when we saw a dog with hat, whatever it was, like, what the fuck does that mean? A dog with a hat? Like, you got Pepe, a green guy. It's gonna be something completely new. I don't think it's probably gonna be an animal or anything like that. And yeah, dude, I think it's about time. I think we're entering that zone where we're gonna have a meme coin, because a meme coin is all about the retail. It's all about retail, and they understand it easily. They know it's put in money because it's gonna go up.
Yeah.
What's the utility? Nothing.
No, you're right, bro. Like, yeah, I think there's gonna be something.
Entering that zone. I think we're entering that zone in this market right now, where
maybe that's what kicks things off.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna put a bow on it, I guess, for the week, man. It was fun. Appreciate everybody joining. Have a good long weekend too. If y'all celebrate Easter, enjoy it.
Can I make a quick comment?
Yeah, what's up?
So I didn't hear you guys talk about RWAs. I would say take a look at that. The metrics is looking interesting to me. Partly because at the same time, I think three big things happened behind the scenes, and I don't think that crypto people mostly pay attention to them. One is the Federal Reserve's Basel rule change that happened. It's significant for mostly the G-SIBs, which is the globally systemic important banks, because the balance sheets, there's been some adjustments there. So that tells me that they will have more money to speculate. There's a little bit of nuance there, but that's one of the points. The second point is, you guys have heard about the supplemental leverage ratio. Zach from Subway, we've talked about this a lot in the past. That actually got optimized when that whole rule was changed. So that's a huge deal. The point I'm making here is that RWAs are going to benefit. The reason why I'm saying this is BlackRock's, now you can literally swap, if you're an institution and you hold whatever amount of BITL, you can literally swap it on chain for USDC through Uniswap X. So don't ignore Uni. Uni as a token, because some of these things, they pop out of nowhere, but it's not out of nowhere. It is because the plumbing is already set. Think about what I just said. If you're an institution, you can swap BITL into USDC on chain. What can you do with USDC on chain? A lot of things. Okay. And if you guys remember during 2021, Signet, Silicon Valley Bank, and Coinbase, you can just use Grok and do that analysis, and it'll tell you how much activity Signet facilitated through Coinbase, through institutions. And when FTX blew up, that whole pipeline or plumbing got cut off, right? So BlackRock, some of the crypto like Coinbase, they're building the plumbing behind the scenes. And that's what usually pushes the speculation. So take a look at the RWA. The website is rwa.xyz. You go to analytics and then you pull up all the stuff, and then you can dig down into the ones that you see moving, right? I mean, Coinbase has real world asset tokens. We want to be sniffing around these areas because that's literally where the liquidity goes. They're building a bridge and the money will make its way into the USDC or USDT. And then people are going to use that to speculate. add that to the Clarity Act with the yield compromise that just happened, it's like a win-win for the institutions, right? So it's all about yield. What can we do with it? How do we, because it's like passive versus active, right? So the active is if I put money in money markets, the money markets money has to be put into some treasuries, right? So that is activity because the treasuries would generate something and then it gets passed on. So the same thing is what BlackRock is building. So keep an eye out on real world assets. The market cap has been going up the last 30 days. I track these things just to see while the market is like upset, they're doing somehow, there's some momentum there. And if you go on, deepinscan.io, that's another website. If you go on there, just play around it. Look at the top 10 deep-in projects, right? And then, this is decentralized physical infrastructure projects. Most of them are on Solana. Do some research there. You could find some nuggets there because they're all the same. They're all basically the real world asset type of tokens, right? And you might be lucky because if the plumbing from the institutional side is built up already, the money will make its way there at the speed of a smart contract. And that's all I have. Good Friday. Everybody enjoy. But as always, yeah.
No, I appreciate that. Great stuff, man. Go ahead, Cliff, real quick, man. I gotta jump. I gotta go with my grandfather. Go ahead.
Okay, man. You have a good weekend, but I'm gonna tell Mark, it's not gonna be an animal. It's gonna be a big giant green dingus that's gonna pop up on your screen and skeet up and to the right.
All right, that was worth it. Hey, y'all be good. Have a good weekend, man. Enjoy it, man. If you guys are spending time with family, friends, enjoy it. We'll be back. I guess we'll be back Monday. Traditional markets are still closed Monday too, right? Is that right? Are they closed Friday and Monday? Are they back Monday?
No, they're open Monday.
They're open Monday. Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back Monday. Appreciate everybody. What's up? What's going on? Yeah, I couldn't open it.
Weeks ago, not on the internet, and they were interviewing him, about how far and all the things he done with, the clubs and how far you get hit it back.